Hello guys, this is Felipe from the Noob Trader. Sorry if I'm talking a little quietly because I'm not at home right now again. I'm out surfing but I just wanted to do a quick update on where we are right now in the overall crypto market. If this is really going to be the time where we finally break past the 2.5 trillion dollar price range on the overall market cap, and just see how we're doing overall. Taking a look at Ethereum. As you can see, um, everything, especially the two large caps, I mean, at this point, Ethereum is just like even larger than just a regular large cap. I think Bitcoin and ETH we can consider in its own class, but um, you know, the charts are basically matching the overall um, market cap charts, right? If we're looking at ETH here, Bitcoin here, we're kind of seeing very, very similar patterns as now we're basically retesting all-time highs here. We're seeing very, very similar price patterns, right? Or chart patterns. And I think obviously the key question is now is, are we going to see a big liquidation event again? Because that's essentially what we've seen the last two times we've approached very, very close to these levels on basically all assets, right? First time we approached here, we got a huge liquidation event down here, right? Where the market literally lost about whatever, $0.3 trillion in a single day, and it just led to a complete capitulation after that. If we look then as well on this particular day, this day was actually the 7th of September, where we saw another huge liquidation event as we started approaching. I mean, the actual wick on that particular day, we literally lost almost $0.6 trillion um, in valuation in the overall crypto market in a single day, right? So those were obviously huge liquidation events caused by too many people leveraged on longs. And now we're approaching this level again. I think the question that we really want to ask ourselves is, um, are we going to see another liquidation? Right now, it looks like right at this exact point here, when we start looking at it even closer, right, you can really see that there's a battle essentially going between bulls and the bears. People are obviously taking profits at this price range now that we've hit a certain key target level. I mean, it's just natural. It's going to be a market. People are going to be taking profits. If you look at the Bitcoin charts, it's the same thing. You can tell that people are starting to take profits at these levels. If you're looking at the ETH chart, people are obviously starting to take profit at these levels. If you're looking at, I don't know, what should we look at? BNB. I mean, we're not actually, it's hard to compare because these aren't actually at, near all-time highs, but you get my point here, right? Especially with the large caps in the overall market, now that we're reaching this key level here at 2.5, people are starting to take profits. Okay, people are starting to take profits. So we want to see if this profit taking is actually going to cause a liquidation event where we go back down in value to the point where we retest in terms of a support range, where we maybe retest the 0.236 on the FIB that we drew out here, or something along those lines. Or if we test the 50-day, around 2 trillion, around 2.1, 2 trillion, 2.2 again, if we start retesting these levels, if we get a liquidation event. But at the moment, from what I've seen over the last few days, and this is what I've really been monitoring, um, so far everything looks pretty good for the fact that we may be pushing higher. Okay, I know right now that clearly there's some profit taking happening and we're seeing a bit of downside, but as of now, we haven't seen a crazy liquidation pullback, okay, which is a really good sign because what that means is that all the leverage longs have been shaken out of the market in the last multiple, downturns, right? And right now, people aren't leveraged nearly enough to the point that that this profit taking that's occurring here is going to lead to, a huge ripple effect where we just see a massive dump in price. We're not seeing that as of right now. Okay? As of right now, we're not seeing it. Of course, if more people start taking profits, it can always get triggered. So I don't want to say confidently yet that this is starting to look good, that we're actually going to be breaking past this 2.5 trillion level, or that we're actually going to be breaking past the 63, 64 point price range level on Bitcoin, that we're going to get past this 4,000 and so forth price range on ETH. But things are certainly starting to look a lot more promising, right? If we don't have all these people leveraged, then the spot price can actually push forward. It's just, you know, it's just market mechanics, right? So if we do actually see a situation where we, pull back and now we're continuing to break through this level here and then start making this support, if we really start seeing that where we start making the 2.5 trillion dollar price range support, then at that point, we're starting to go into price discovery mode with a lot of these larger caps like Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, right? And price can really just continue to go up from that point forward. I think if we really do see a confirmation that we're breaking past 2.5, making it support, etc., it could be a good time to potentially take a risk in a longer term swing trade there, just because as we've seen so many times with crypto in the past, when we break all-time highs, people sometimes get freaked out like, oh, like how much higher is it going to go? How much higher is it going to go? And you can follow any model, blah, blah, blah. But the reality is that you look at price history and you realize that when we do break these all-time highs, we break them big, okay? I think the risk to reward is there. If you see support being built once we break through certain all-time highs, then the risk to reward is there to take a position and then just ride it out. Who knows at that point then how crazy the market can go, how much momentum can start to pick up, with all this ETF talk crap, blah, blah, blah. Who knows how much higher it could really go when the psychology is really there pushing, the buyers pushing the sellers so hard and just leading to price, reaching, whatever, those stupid numbers that you always hear people jabbering about, whether it's 85K, 100K, 150K or whatever. But the reality is that there's certainly going to be a lot of room for upside, I think. So anyways, just keep track of the market to make sure that you're not making a dumb decision, and then make a decision. Once we see some actual confirmation on the charts, that's when you can actually make a, reasonable, well thought out decision. Okay. So if you like the content, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you have any questions about what I was just rambling about, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next video.